Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of We Talk Talent series. And today we have with us Anusha Mandavilli, Senior Vice President, Valuelabs. Welcome to the show, Anusha.
Thank you, Abid, for having me here.
Thanks a lot for taking out time and joining us. And for our viewers, today we'll talk about candidate experience, onboarding, impact of tech, the workforce, talent, how talent is evolving. I hope, Anusha, you are ready for this chat.
Definitely.
Okay. So, Anusha, without any delay, I would like to ask you a very basic yet very important question. And my question to you is, where do you think the future of work is going? Since we all are talking about the future of work, where do you think the future of work is going?
So, Abid, there have been a lot of discussions around how workplace is going to be. Is it going to be all virtual? Is it going to be all in office? Is it going to be hybrid? But there is one part of it that I would want to bring up, and I think I recently saw an article as well, which talks about a hub and spoke model. Say there will be a central office and there will be a third office, not your home, not your office. There will be a third office, which could be, it could be anywhere. It could be in your apartment, it could be at a vacation, it could be anywhere. So that is more on the concept of office. But in terms of work, there is one part that I wanted to touch upon, which I think will be a future of work, which is gig economy. It has been in talks for a while, but it will become a lot more mainstream, considering the fact that people don't have to go into a physical office. So people, based on the flexibility that they want, the number of hours that they want to work, there will be gigs that they would be a part of. And as employers, we can also choose whether we want to outsource or put our gigs to our non-core work or our core work. So gig economy is something that will come up in the future.
So, according to you, gig economies will be the future of workforce, and there, in that
Yes.
direction, the future of work is going.
Yes.
Okay. So since everybody is talking about future of work, how the future of work will evolve, but there's one very important thing which is candidate experience.
Yes.
And given the current scenario with virtual onboarding, and given that virtual is here to stay,
Yes.
how do you see the candidate experience evolving now and evolving in future as well?
So, Abid, the one thing that I want to bring to the forefront is now candidate is the king. The power has shifted towards the candidate. Reason being, it is very easy for someone to give an interview and move to another organization because the chair that I'm sitting in right now, I can be talking to you, I can be talking to a company in the US. So interviewing has become very easy. So the power has completely shifted towards candidates. Earlier, a candidate used to research about the company. They would look at how the Glassdoor reviews are and what people are talking about it, go to the office, experience the culture by themselves. But now things have changed. Now you cannot call a candidate to office, right? So that would mean that one, from an employer brand perspective, you have to ensure that you are consistently talking about culture. So it's not just about physical office space, right? Your culture has to be beyond what happens in office. So you have to maintain everything from Glassdoor, what goes on your website, what goes on LinkedIn, what people are talking about it. And it's a very tough one because that used to be in the background before. The second thing that I think will change, it's coming now, where instead of a candidate researching about the interviewer and the company will have to start researching about the candidate and make their pitch for the candidate so that the candidate joins them. So candidate experience power will completely shift, and one miss from you, you will not be the employer of choice for the candidate.
You spoke about candidate, the power is with candidate. There's one more question which includes, handling remote workers and onboarding. So there's a mindset that tech has a vital role to play in all the processes. Maybe it onboarding, maybe it candidate experience or handling remote workers.
Hmm.
But the other theory suggests that humans are irreplaceable.
Hmm.
One is tech and one is human. So who, according to you, holds the secret sauce, tech or human, and why?
Okay. Okay. So, how I would want to phrase it is tech has to be the foundation, but there has to be a layer of humanizing the tech. because I don't want to make choices, because without tech or without humans, we cannot survive. So when I say tech has to be there, the place where I'm coming from is earlier people, so I'm in Hyderabad. The employees physically had to be in Hyderabad to be a part of Valuelabs. Say, for example, the Hyderabad office. But since the pandemic, we've hired from across India. Doesn't matter whether you're staying in Kaziranga or any remote part of Assam, you're in Kashmir, it doesn't matter to us. So a face-to-face interaction is not always an option in the current economy. So, with that as the understanding, technology is something that will be all pervasive. Technology is not something that is replaceable. In fact, technology should have been the foundation of all processes since the beginning, but now we've come to a place where we've been pushed to a place that we have to adopt technology. So technology has to stay, and it has to, so it also brings in efficiencies which we did not realize. Say, for example, if you wanted to do appraisals or you wanted to do an exit, all that could have been done in office. You go to the HR floor, you give a paper. All that is not possible now. So it's not exactly optional to adopt to technology. But there is nothing that can replace a nice pat on the back, a warm cup of coffee with a friend, and a warm hug. Or when you are suffering through COVID, someone comes and asks, "How are you and what support do you need?" That is not something technology can bring in. So, humanizing technology is where we will be.
So talking about technology, you mentioned about technology and tech disruption.
Hmm.
What do you think will be the actual impact of tech disruption on the workforce?
Okay, so I'll talk to you in terms of supply demand and in terms of the actual impact that it has on workforce. When I talk about supply demand, it will be a lot more open to all kinds of people. People say, at least the way I look at it, the trend would be towards more women coming into the workforce, and even specially abled people who could not be a part of physical office because of infrastructure issues but had the right talent, if they are able to work from home, so all these people will have access to opportunities that they did not have before. So that is one part to it. And second is more in terms of people within the workforce. And if I talk about it, there were a lot of repetitive jobs that used to be done by people, and to bring in efficiencies, those will move towards technology. So the push will be towards people upskilling themselves. They have to upskill themselves, they will have to stay relevant, they will have to move towards specialized jobs. That is one part to it. Second, more in terms of skills. So earlier, getting adopted or used to technology was not exactly a basic fundamental requirement for any job. But now having a virtual presence, being able to talk in conferences with people, so having a virtual presence, getting used to technology, all these will be fundamentals. While they were good to have at some point in time, they will become a must have. Does it make sense, Abid?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So I really appreciate what you mentioned about this, what it means for the tech disruption of the workforce. But I have one more question, and we are talking about how tech has changed and what were the trends earlier. But due to this pandemic, the trends that we were expecting that has totally changed. For example, people are talking about tech, but skilling become an important topic from last 1.5 years. So my last question would be, what is the one trend in HR that will disrupt the workplace in the coming years?
So I covered one part of it, which is about
Yes.
talent being global. But since we discussed that point already, one part that I would want to cover more in depth would be about upskilling and staying relevant. So even with respect to upskilling, I would have never thought that I can, get a certificate from University of Pennsylvania for a course. But now it is all accessible. It is all virtual. I am able to, just by the click of a button, I'm able to access a certification in behavioral science. I'm able to access a certification from University of Pennsylvania or a Harvard University, which was not possible earlier, right? So I would have had to plan my funds, I would have had to plan my time, but now I can work, and I can also upskill myself, and that's an option that is available to everybody. The another thing and another dynamic that will come into place is it doesn't matter what your age is, what your experience is. You will have equal access to all kinds of opportunities just a click of button away. So that is something that is here to change. You would see people at leadership positions who may be very young, or so you will see a good coexistence of people from different age groups and different generations because they are able to access opportunities which otherwise they could not have had.
Very valuable point. We were not expecting what you mentioned, that Harvard, Stanford, or any other university with a click of button. So I think bank must be having a tough time of education loan and everything now. So thank you so much, Anusha, for sharing your thoughts. This was a very quick interview, and I really appreciate your responses were crisp and to the point.
Thank you, Abid. Thank you for this opportunity. Have a nice day.